What is going on, everyone? Tim from Tierfon Orbital. It's good to see you. It's been a while. I took a little bit of a sabbatical there, but now I'm back just doing lightsaber demo videos because this is the format that I'm good at. I'm not even good at it, really. But anyhow, so today I would like to talk about an install commission that I completed on a Korbanth Kestis. So this is, if I'm not mistaken, this is Korbanth's in-house designed Cal Kestis themed hilt, right? I think that prior to this, Korbanth was offering the 89 Sabres version of this hilt, but this is their in-house version. So I do have some thoughts about the hilt. There were some things that I needed to work past to get a good install in this hilt. So I do want to talk about the chassis. I do also want to talk, obviously we're going to come up top and do a quick demo, right? But great hilt. Actually, let's take a look at it. So here is the Kestis from Korbanth. I mean, it's a decent hilt, right? I mean, this video is probably going to bleed into a little bit of an op-ed, but 89 Sabres, I believe, did this weird blue gunmetal as well. I'm just not a huge fan of that. I like the black grips. Another thing that was a little bit confusing to me with the Korbanth version of this hilt is the pommel. Firstly, the pommel, there's no venting. There is no sound venting in this pommel. I did talk to the customer, and the customer was okay with me making a penetration in this pommel for some sound venting because of the way I designed the chassis. I have a speaker down here, and that on that subject, right? Little confusing as to what Korbanth wanted the speaker placement to be with this hilt. I am not familiar with the chassis that Korbanth offers, but I'm assuming because there's no sound venting in the pommel, that their chassis possibly has a speaker pointing up here. The Ogdo Killer, the chassis that C's Workshop did for the Ogdo Killer was kind of like that. But if that's the case, there's no holes here. There's no sound venting holes in these kidney-shaped cutouts. So I was a little confused. I mean, if that was the intention to have a speaker up here, you're still going to get very muffled, if no sound at all, right? Korbanth did incorporate this magnetic greeblie that kind of holds this waist section in place. Another very confusing thing because, I mean, it is a neodymium magnet. It's strong, but when you're swinging this around, you can definitely feel this get loose. So there is a Phillips head screw that you can use to secure this in place. So to the customer, if you want to secure it while you're swinging the blade around, you can do that. So I took advantage of the fact that this slides. So I put a crystal in here. There is a crystal reveal up in here, and you can kind of, I mean, that magnet does stay in place. So you can kind of slide it down and look at the crystal and slide it back in. But that's what I chose to do for up here. I just did not see a speaker performing very well in this area. But then, you know, obviously a speaker wouldn't be able to perform very well with no sound venting either. From what I understand, Korbanth will be offering a broken pommel part attachment for this hilt. I didn't see it on their website, but from what I understand, they will be offering that at a later date, right? But that will be cool because of the way I designed this chassis. I do have a NeoPixel ring that will get some cool animations in that broken pommel whenever that's released, right? So with all of that out of the way, let's come into Fusion and take a look at the chassis, and then we'll come up top. All right, so here it is, right? This is the chassis that I designed for this hilt. I did something a little different with this build. I did do a tilted Proffieboard setup, but I put my kill switch just underneath the Proffieboard. This is the first time I've done something like this, and I'm really, really happy with how the placement came out, right? But that's pretty much it. Greeblies along each side. This does fit a 24 millimeter speaker. That's another very strange thing. Another confounding thing I realized about this hilt. It's 27 millimeters on the internal. Why you wouldn't bump that up to 28, I don't know. Nowadays, people really, really prefer 28 millimeter speakers, myself included. So I'm not sure why that decision was made, but hey, we got around it by doing a 24 millimeter speaker. I also have a cap that houses a NeoPixel ring for some shine through. So I wire up my speaker, wire up my NeoPixel ring, and then slide this whole cap over the speaker itself, right? Up top, we've got a 6-rail PCB. This is from Smuggler's Outpost. It is a removable chassis, and that is how we achieve that, right? Battery tray is here, and that's it. Super happy with, super happy with the kill switch under here. I might start doing that a little bit more when I do tilted Proffies, okay? All right, so let's come up top. All right, so here we are. This is the Kestis from Korbanth sabers. I also did add the greeblies with the wires on it on each side of that emitter section. But yeah, pretty decent looking hilt, right? Threaded pommel. To get at your chassis, you want to unthread that pommel. And the chassis will just slide out. Here is the chassis. So I did my usual pass of pewter and onyx rub and buff. Here is our tilted Proffieboard, and the kill switch is right in here. And there's our 24mm speaker with the accent ring. So to use the hilt or use the chassis, spring side is your negative. Take the flat part of your battery, rest it in that battery tray, hit your kill switch.
How we looking, BD?
So there is that accent ring. So obviously you're not going to get much shine through in this pommel because it does only have some holes in the bottom. But when that broken pommel section gets released, you'll get some decent shine through in that, right? So turn your chassis on, slide the chassis in the hilt. Doesn't matter which orientation you put it in. There is also a speaker ring or a pommel ring in here that helps to push that chassis up into those PCB pins, right? Thread on the pommel until it stops, and then you're ready to go. So here is that crystal reveal. So yeah, this magnet, I mean, it's a cool, in theory, it's a cool idea, but look what happens when you, like I'm not quite sure if the intention was to just always have it like that. But yeah, there we are. So there's that crystal. Emitter, lit. Let's come down to the bottom. Okay. So there's that crystal reveal, right? I am going to, because I'm going to be swinging this around, I am going to put a screw in this middle section. So you take that magnetic greeblie off. There is a flathead screw that I will be including. Just line your hole up and just screw that flathead or the Phillips head screw in, right, to secure it. And then you can put your greeblie back on. See what else we put on here.
Luigi.
Yes, so I've never heard this font before. So the customer did have some very specific font requests. I was able to oblige and get those on there. Let's put a blade in it. This is a 1-inch blade holder. So take your blade, rest it on those PCB pins, and then tighten that set screw. It serves as your blade retention. You're ready to go. Interesting font selection. Let's see what else we put on here. Twist to activate, twist to deactivate are on. This is a single button Proffie setup.
Yeah, right.
All right, that's it. Before I swing it around any longer and break something in here.
Not good either, but not bad.
All right. So that is it. That is the Kestis. The Kestis from Korbanth sabers. So again, like just some confounding thing, design cues about this hilt, but I'm happy with the result. I'm happy we got to get a crystal reveal in here. And I'm also happy that the client was cool with doing that. So anyhow, thanks for watching, everybody. If anyone has any questions regarding this particular install or this hilt or my design process, please do not be a stranger. To the customer, thank you very much for trusting me with your install. And with that being said, may the force be with you always. Have a good one, everybody.